Hi guys, me again on open mic night. It's night somewhere in the world, isn't it? It's broad daylight here and it's baking hot in my bloody room. And it's annoying me because WWE ruined my video. You know? Annoying. Because Jeff Cobb is now in the WWE and the main roster. It's annoying in a good way because I didn't think in a million years they would do the way they did it at Backlash. You know? That did surprise me. Go watch my thoughts and opinions of his debut right here on Open Mic Night. Please do. And I give you my thoughts and opinions towards Backlash. But saying all that, they ruined my video. You know, I wish I could show you what I've actually just deleted not that long ago. It's annoying because I didn't think they would do it that way, but job well done. I give them big props. I'm not even being sarcastic for once. I'm being actually genuine. You know, the possibilities, what they could do with Jeff Cobb. I was thinking feuds, storylines, you know. I was turning Fantasy Booker. I was turning being a Smark or Mark, whatever you want to class us as. You know, for Jeff Cobb for coming in WWE. The possibilities are endless for him, you know. But did I think the way I seen them portray a Backlash? Hell no. Hell no. How did I not think of that? Oh, that's right, because they've not done anything Bloodline sort of related in a long time. You know, since... when was it? Survivor Series? To a point? I'm not being funny, but when I think of this reboot of the Bloodline, it's far too soon. Even though they did the last thing together was Survivor Series. Why? Why? Don't get me wrong, I get the concept, but you take to Survivor Series. Which month was that in? September, November time, wasn't it? It's taking you till May 2025 to execute starting another sort of bloodline. I could be wrong, but I could be right at the same time. It's taking you this long, and you push him straight to the main roster. You put him. This is what I don't get. You put him onto the main roster, and yet some of the wrestlers that you are already big names, they have to go through developmental towards the main to get to the main roster. You know, towards NXT. If you get what I mean. I know I'm not being funny. Jeff Cobb is old. I'm not saying this in a bad light, guys. For fuck's sake. But I know he's old. But my God. I'm just really wondering where this is going to lead. You know, because I'm really confused. In a good way. You know, because you blew my whole video out the window. I know I rambled on about it, but I can't stress you enough how much annoying it is. Because I heard the rumours and speculations only Thursday? Or was it Friday daytime? Whilst I was preparing myself to... Ugh, sorry about that, guys. But it's annoying. It really is. You know? I've literally written bullet points. The feuds, the storylines, etc. they could do with him. But no way did I think that was going to happen. No. You know, the way they've done it, Chef Kiss. I like the idea. You know? But it's took them this long to technically reignite the bloodlines sort of scenario. Another thing that I was thinking of putting Jeff Cobb with, I'm not bullshitting to you, the likes of Karrion Kross. But that would have been Asia. You know what annoys me? I've already done a whole video on this. Karrion Kross is #1 shirt sale, but I didn't mention this on my Backlash review. About obviously titled Jeff Cobb debut. Right? I didn't mention this. Why didn't Karrion Kross make an appearance on Backlash? And yet, WWE confused the hell out of me. I thought there would be going to be more matches than there was. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it, but WWE stopped doing 5 matches per PLE. You know, that's just me being honest. Because it's getting annoying. But anyway, whilst I'm on the topic of PLEs, do you prefer PLEs on a Saturday or a Sunday? Or pay-per-views? Even if it's All Elite Pro Wrestling. Sorry, All Elite Wrestling. Even if it's TNA Wrestling. Even if it's Maple Leaf Federation. Or if it's New Japan Pro Wrestling. Or if it's Pro Wrestling Noah and all this lot. You know, as a wrestling fan, or Ring of Honor. You know, I know Tony Khan's running Ring of Honor before anyone says it. Do you prefer pay-per-views on a Saturday or a Sunday? The only reason why I'm asking, because, my God, right, I know WWE have been doing it quite a lot recently. And so has other companies and so on. They've been doing it for years, right? I'm not being funny. When I just watch WWE and other brands, don't get me wrong. But I prefer PLEs on a Saturday. You know, where was you all my life being a wrestling fan when I was working? You know, I know I'm currently unemployed. I'm currently looking, guys. I'm not just sitting on my arse. Well, I am right now, but, you know, I'm literally thinking, where have you been all my life? You know, such a fucking refreshing change, isn't it? When you think about it logically, in a logical sense, PLEs should be just on a Saturday. For any wrestling company that you think of. You know, Pro Wrestling Noah, etc. You know, I'm just saying names. You know, or wrestling shows you go to, like, for an independent show, should be just on a Saturday, not on a Sunday. You know, it makes perfect sense to do it nowadays. Because I know people like to work on a Monday. You don't want to turn into Elvis Costello? That sings, everybody doesn't like Mondays. Tell me why. Yep, I've just made it rain. With my singing. But I digress. But you got to think, guys, logically, right? It's a good business sense. And this is why I say about WrestleMania. Should go back to one night. Because after the performance we had this past... I think, in a way, I know it sounds daft, just to rescue this, if all those matches that we had at WrestleMania was on the Saturday, do you think WWE would have been crapped on as much as they did? I don't think so. Because there's so much going off. The reason why you charge so much for 2 nights, let alone I'm dreading what SummerSlam's going to be. If you're already building towards certain matches that I thought they were going for on Backlash, wasn't on Backlash, but then they confirmed only after, or while some Backlash is going on, it's Saturday Night Main Event. I'm like, what the hell? You're promoting too much and too quickly. You know, you scatter around the products, don't get me wrong. But is it just me, right? I'll be honest with you. Don't think I've mentioned this on my Backlash review. I think I mentioned this on a TikTok. When everything went from WWE, like, whatever network provider before the network came out, you had different identities towards PLEs, different identities towards shows. You had different staging other than just the graphics. You had its own identity. You know, wrestling needed its own identity. SmackDown had the fist. Oh, 3D. Good job that camera's not 3D. But, you know, I'm using WWE example because they're the front runners of wrestling, as people say. So, wrestling had its own identity. Raw had its own identity. Every pay-per-view had its own identity. From the different staging. Yes, I know cost goes up. But I'm just being honest with you. That I miss when it used to have its own identity. But then when it went to the WWE Network, everything just went to the basic. Like it was technically in the Attitude Era. To a point. But that weakened out the product. So I'm not saying losing money. We know why they lost quite a bit, probably. I'm not saying it's Vince McMahon's or Kevin Dunn's problem. It was just their own problem. Then when Netflix deal came along, I feel like technically it's lost its identity even more. Yes, I know about music licenses. Yes, I know about Titantron, theme music, the full works is still there. But I feel like WWE, in a way, has lost its own identity. You know? Yes, like I've said, I know things go up in price. Don't judge me on that. But I literally feel that when people used to invest more into the product and pay less for tickets, now people are paying a lot more, you're getting less for your buck. You know? And that's not me hindering them. That's me thinking, bring back your own identity to your pay-per-views. Like King of the Ring, a prime example. They used to have a walkway. I think it was King of the Ring 1991, or was it 1991? Where am I going? 2000 and 2001. Didn't they have a giant throne as a part of the walkway? You know, on top of the stage. I think they started doing budget cuts when they first came to the UK. Started using the fucking telephone boxes and everything. That's me joking. Because you know full well Hackney cabs. Fucking hell, imagine if that was actually a real Hackney cab. Jesus Christ, left it on the meter. Driver fucked off for a bit, you know how he does. And left his meter running for the 2-hour show they had on Monday Night Raw. Or 3-hour, as it is now. And same with SmackDown. Passive. Might be still cheaper than Uber. Or Bolt. You know, I'm trying to make a joke out of it, guys. You should know me human now. Anyone that knows me for a long period of time, because I'm an OG, as people say. But that's what I mean. It's like, I feel like WWE's lost its identity massively these days. You know, and the one thing I feel that's losing their identity as well, TNA. I was going to do a separate video on this, but I thought I might as well include them. You know, I've not watched TNA in a long time. And people say the product's great. I give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you say it's better. Okay, it's better. But when they've banned blood in wrestling, it kind of sickens me. I know it sounds daft, but it sickens me. I think I've already mentioned this in one of my reviews. Or a different video. I can't remember either if it was here on TikTok. But when I see that happen, that's TNA technically losing their identity. because they're meant to be TV-14, and now they're losing blood and they're turning PG. They're turning soft. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but certain match types need blood. I've been stressing this for many years. You know, I'm technically pro against blood, even though technically I watch UFC at times. Only at times. I don't thoroughly watch it. I collect the pay-per-views. I'm not watching like last night yet. I've got to be in the mood for UFC. It's one of those things when it comes to the MMA thing. You know, I don't mind boxing, like I've when I went to see Lee Woods yesterday. Boxing in my home city. He's from here as well. He lost. I don't mind boxing, but the thing is, with me, I have to be in the mood to watch UFC. I'm a casual fan, as they might want to class it as. But I don't see me wanting to meet a UFC guy, if you know what I mean. Same with boxing. That's not disrespecting boxing in itself. But banning blood in wrestling, especially TNA wrestling, right? Is it because of what actually happened at Unbreakable with the likes of Sami Callihan? I forget who he was facing, I do apologise. Did they go too far with it to the point where they got themselves banned from using it, or decided to ban themselves using it? Because I feel like, why? You know? Blood. The thing is, fans technically scream out for blood. You know? I know it sounds daft, but I've said this before. I'm not sure if it's on here or TikTok, like I was saying, that you need to show in matches that a wrestler's been hurt, even if it's kayfabe, hit injury or whatever, or selling ability or everything. Even if it's blading or non-blading, blading legitimately. You need to show that. If you throw a weapon against someone and there's no blood, kids will end up looking at that and thinking, oh yeah, they can throw it, they're not getting hurt, they'll try it at home, even though you're not meant to try it at home. Or even fucking stupid adults sometimes. You know, I've seen it done in the papers. You know, when they say, do not try this at home or at school or anywhere else. Why do you think WWE changed it? Instead of, don't try this at home. Okay, we'll do it in the park. I know for one I did when I was little. You know, I had plenty of scrapes doing it. It fucking hurts. So if you're not showing at wrestling that hurts, you know, you get the picture. You need it for that selling ability towards that match. It's mental. It's a mental idea when they do ban it. It's 2025, right? WWE banned it years ago, even though they brought it back to a point, but it seems like they pissed people off because they've not used it since. You know, they could have used it in the Fatal 4-Way. The only blood I saw recently was on Becky Lynch's elbow, where she got a graze from Backlash about there. And I think she busted her lip yesterday. At least one thing that in a way that's not a legitimate fucking... If it's kayfabe sort of blading, I can understand. But that wasn't. That was Becky Lynch actually getting a bit of hurt. You know, at least one thing she gets boo-boos. You know, it's good to show a boo-boo in wrestling, boys and girls. Because you know for it's going to fucking hurt. This is why I don't get why wrestling companies are trying to ban it. You know, AEW don't use blood that often, but when they do, it means something. Because you're selling the story. You're selling the feud. You're selling what's going off. You know? I've debated this for many years. When it's used in the right feud and the right circumstances, yes. For the sake of it, hell no. And people may say, oh, John Moxley uses it for the sake of it. Hell no. He uses it to sell the feud. That's why he's normally the guinea pig that does it. You know? just show a bit of pain. I'm not saying this sounds weird, don't it? Show a bit of pain. You know, not that, oh, ow, 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 ow. Not that sort of thing. Show blood, you know? Don't be ashamed to. You know, it makes sense to fucking do it. Oh, it worries me. But that's just my thoughts. Tell me yours down in the comments. And first and foremost, well, last but not least, in this case, thank you again for you guys at home hitting that subscribe button so you want to be inundated anytime I want to do any uploads. I'm on 13 subscribers. What? I launched this channel, right, to get traction for people to talk about professional wrestling. Not just me. Will be having guests on at some point. You know, about their fandom, about everything. It's not just about me. It's a community channel. And I will be getting people on. You know, I've just got to work around their schedule to my schedule to get them on, if you know what I mean. So, that's what it is. That's what it's all about. You know, it's not just about fandom. It's about a community that we should be building together. And you, yes, you. I'm pointing. Ugh, my nail's not clean. Yeah, it is. It's just an optical illusion by the camera because of the shadow. Yes, you that's hit that play button today. If you've not hit the subscribe button, why haven't you? Hit the subscribe button somewhere down there, wherever the bloody thing is now. You never know where YouTube puts it. And the bell icon, so you'll be updated when I do any uploads. You know? Because at the end of the day, I know I'm the one that talks about wrestling. But I love wrestling. I can't get enough of it to the point where when I literally look up online, I want to watch some more. You know? And I'm like, when did that event happen? You know, sometimes I'm out of the loop. You know, I might start watching TNA again. You know? And a lot of people I've noticed that compare it, right? NXT. If you're not getting enough from NXT, you look at TNA these days. Then you get the TNA vibe. You get those two technically working together. You know, the partnership is meant to be. Other than for the namesake, or for certain wrestlers' sake, or buying ticket sales' sake. You know, but the thing is, one thing I really do not get with the working relationship what TNA's got with WWE. How the hell has this worked? When I used to watch TNA avidly, I used to get hate mail. Not hate mail, matter of speaking, hate mail. Hate comments. Hate crime against me. Because I was supporting TNA. More than WWE, like Will Ospreay is at the moment. You know, but people are all shitting on the WWE over WrestleMania. Yes, WrestleMania, people were shitting on it, other than not just me. But as soon as a wrestler works for another company, they start bashing that wrestler to saying their point of view. They're just doing exactly what you do. If they're not into WWE, don't sacralize them. You know, because they're into their own passion. You know? Wrestling, I respect everyone's views, don't get me wrong, but when you get too far with it, which doesn't make any sense, I will not support it. You know? You know? It fucking baffles me. The way people work, you know? And of all days, right, it's Will Ospreay's birthday the other day. And he come out and said that he was not a WWE guy, and then people gave him hate thing for it. And he's literally said that people from WWE won't go toe-to-toe with him. Yes, he's right. I'm not saying it because I'm a fan of him. I'm stating the obvious. WWE works 7 days a week near enough. X amount of days a year. Right? They put their body on our line for entertainment, granted. But then when you look at the likes of what Will Ospreay does with Impact... Sorry, almost said Impact Wrestling, I do apologise. What he does with AEW... He doesn't work house shows. Because AEW don't do them. You know? Some of the people that have come out with excuses for bashing Will Ospreay that I've saw on TikTok, I've seen here on YouTube. I don't bash other YouTubers. I'm not that sort of guy. I do not bash other TikTokers, but I will call you out on this. Your opinions are making no sense to the relevance what he's trying to say. It seems like when I see these people that are doing these bash attacks towards Will Ospreay, they've just thought, okay, I'll put wrestling on. I'll start up a YouTube channel or a TikTok page to voice my opinions on professional wrestling. That's what it seems like, because you're not making any sense. Makes sense if you're going to bash someone for it. You know? That's just my opinion. But anyway, guys, I'm off. Hope you all guys are well. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you guys later. And remember, obviously, keep hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll be inundated when I do any videos for you guys.